in the hush of a stormy midnight, where rain pounded the city streets like unforgiving drums, a faint cry shattered the darkness. Olivia, a weary nurse trudging home from a double shift at the hospital, froze in her tracks. The sound came from a shadowed alley, weak but insistent, a baby's wail. Lost amid the chaos of the downpour, her heart raced as she peered into the gloom, spotting a sodden cardboard box tucked behind a dumpster. Inside, wrapped in a tattered blanket, was a tiny infant, no more than a few days old, eyes wide with terror and tiny fists flailing against the cold. Olivia's breath caught. She had always dreamed of motherhood, but life had dealt her cruel blows. A failed marriage, years of infertility treatments that drained her savings and spirit. Now at 35, she lived alone in a small apartment, her days filled with caring for others' loved ones while her own arms remained empty. Without a second thought, she scooped the baby into her coat, shielding it from the rain. "Shh, little one," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I've got you now. You're safe." Rushing to the nearest police station, Olivia reported the find, but the officers shook their heads. No missing child reports matched the description. The baby had no identification, just a small silver locket around its neck engraved with a single word: hope. Social services were overwhelmed, and after a cursory check, they suggested foster care. But Olivia couldn't bear the thought of this fragile soul bouncing through the system. "Let me take her," she pleaded. "Just temporarily until we find her family." Reluctantly, they agreed, and so began Olivia's unexpected journey into motherhood. She named the baby Ava. After the promise of new beginnings she felt the first time. She held her, a symbol of hope and renewal. Days turned to weeks and no one came forward. Olivia poured her heart into caring for Ava. Midnight feedings, lullabies sung through exhausted tears, first smiles that lit up her world like sunshine after rain. But beneath the joy lurked a shadow of doubt. Who had abandoned this child? Why? Olivia scoured newspapers and online forums, but clues were scarce. Little did she know, the truth was buried deep in a web of regret and secrets, waiting to unravel her newfound happiness. As months passed, Ava grew into a bubbly toddler with curly hair and eyes that sparkled like emeralds. Olivia's life transformed. She laughed more, dreamed bigger. Friends marveled at her selflessness. "You're a saint," they'd say. But Olivia brushed it off. Kindness isn't saintly, it's human. Yet in quiet moments, she wondered if fate had gifted her this child or if she was merely borrowing joy that belonged to another. The locket around Ava's neck became a talisman, a reminder that hope could be both a blessing and a burden. One crisp autumn day, as Olivia pushed Ava's stroller through the park, a woman approached them, thin and disheveled, with haunted eyes that mirrored Ava's green ones. She stared at the child. "Excuse me," the stranger stammered, her voice breaking. "That locket, where did you get it?" Olivia's stomach twisted. This was Madison, Ava's biological mother, a woman shattered by addiction and despair, who had left her newborn in that alley 2 years ago, convinced she was unworthy of motherhood. Madison had sobered up, rebuilt her life, and now searched for redemption. But Olivia, clutching the stroller tightly, felt a surge of protectiveness. "Who are you?" she demanded, her world teetering on the edge of collapse. Madison's story spilled out, in a torrent of tears and apologies, right there on the park bench as leaves swirled around them like forgotten memories. She had been young, barely 20, trapped in a cycle of abuse and drugs. The baby's father had abandoned her, and in a haze of desperation, Madison convinced herself that leaving the child in that alley near a busy street where someone might find her was an act of mercy. "I thought she'd have a better life without me," Madison sobbed, wringing her hands. "But I was wrong. I've spent every day since regretting it. Getting clean, working 2 jobs to prove I'm worthy." Olivia listened, her heart a battlefield of empathy and anger. How could anyone abandon a helpless infant? Yet looking at Madison's trembling form, she saw echoes of her own past pains, the loneliness, the mistakes that haunted her. Ava, oblivious, played with a fallen leaf, giggling innocently. "She's mine now," Olivia said firmly, though her voice wavered. "I've raised her, loved her as my own." Madison nodded, not demanding custody, but begging for a chance to know her daughter. "Please just let me be part of her life. I know I don't deserve it, but kindness, it can change everything." Torn, Olivia agreed to supervised visits. Starting small, a coffee here, a playground outing there. Madison proved earnest, bringing handmade toys and stories from her recovery journey. Ava warmed to her quickly, calling her Auntie Maddie in her toddler lisp. But Olivia's resentment simmered beneath the surface. Why should Madison get a second chance when Olivia had sacrificed so much? Nights brought restless dreams where Ava was torn from her arms, leaving her empty once more. Then came the first twist. During a routine checkup, doctors discovered Ava had a rare, genetic condition, a heart defect that required surgery. Olivia's world shattered anew. The procedure was risky, and Ava needed a compatible donor for blood or tissue if complications arose. Test revealed Olivia wasn't a match. Desperate, she turned to Madison, who agreed to testing without hesitation. Miraculously, she was a perfect match. "I'll do anything," Madison vowed. "This is my chance to make amends." As surgery day approached, tensions mounted. Olivia paced the hospital waiting room, memories flooding her. The stormy night she found Ava, the joy of her first steps, the fear of losing her now. Madison sat beside her, offering quiet support. "I forgive you," Olivia whispered suddenly, surprising even herself. "Not for you, but for Ava. She needs us both." Madison's eyes filled with gratitude, and in that moment, a fragile bond formed. Two women united by love for one child. But fate had more in store. On the eve of the operation, Madison confessed a deeper secret. The baby's father wasn't a stranger. He was Olivia's ex-husband, Noah, who had left her years ago amid her infertility struggles. Their affair had been brief, born of his grief and Madison's vulnerability. He never knew about the baby, Madison admitted, ashamed. "I was too scared to tell him." Olivia reeled, betrayal cutting deep. Noah, the man who had called her barren and walked away, was Ava's biological father. The revelation threatened to destroy everything. Overwhelmed, Olivia confronted Noah, tracking him down through old contacts. He had remarried, built a new life, but remorse shadowed his face when she revealed the truth. "I was a fool," he admitted. "I hurt you, and now this. Let me help." Tested, he too was a match, offering another layer of hope for Ava. As the family converged in the hospital, old wounds reopened, forcing forgiveness in the face of crisis. The hospital corridors echoed with the sterile hum of machines, a stark contrast to the storm raging in Olivia's soul. Ava lay prepped for surgery, her small hand clutching Olivia's finger, eyes heavy with sedation. "Mama loves you," Olivia whispered, planting a kiss on her forehead. Madison stood nearby, murmuring prayers, while Noah paced outside, grappling with the weight of his past sins. The doctors explained the risks. The defect could cause complications, and while Madison's donation would help, unity among them all might be Ava's best chance. As the hours ticked by in the waiting room, conversations turned raw. Olivia confronted Noah about his abandonment. "You left because I couldn't give you a child," she said, voice cracking. "And now fate brings you back through her." Noah hung his head. "I was selfish, scared, but seeing Ava, she's a miracle." "I'm sorry, Olivia, for everything." Madison chimed in, sharing her own tale of redemption. How rock bottom led her to a support group, where she learned that forgiveness starts within. "I hated myself for leaving her," she said, "but kindness from strangers pulled me up. Now I want to pay it forward." Unexpectedly, the trio found common ground in their love for Ava. Noah shared funny stories from his youth. Madison revealed recipes from her heritage that she hoped to teach the child someday. Olivia, softening, admitted her fears of inadequacy. "I thought finding her was my salvation," she confessed. "But maybe it's about us all healing together." Laughter mingled with tears, forging an unlikely family in the crucible of worry. Then came the climax. Midway through surgery, alarms blared. The doctor rushed out, face grave. "There's bleeding we didn't anticipate. We need an immediate transfusion. Madison's type is ideal, but we might need more." Madison stepped forward without pause, rolling up her sleeve. But as they prepped her, she collapsed, her own health fragile from years of abuse, a hidden anemia flaring under stress. Panic ensued. Noah, seeing no other way, offered himself. "Take mine," he insisted. Tests confirmed compatibility, and he donated on the spot, his blood flowing to save the daughter he never knew. In that frantic moment, Olivia watched in awe as past enemies became saviors. Madison, weak but determined, held Olivia's hand. "Kindness never fails," she murmured. "It brought us here." The surgery stretched into the night, hearts pounding with every update. Finally, the doctor emerged, smiling wearily. "She's stable." It was touch and go, but the donations made the difference. "Ava is going to be okay." Relief washed over them like a tidal wave. Olivia rushed to Ava's side where the child stirred, whispering, "Mama." Madison and Noah joined, a circle of redemption forming around the bed. But the deepest shock came later. In recovery, Ava's locket, opened for the first time, revealed a faded photo inside. It was of a young woman who looked strikingly like Olivia's mother. Digging deeper, they uncovered the truth. Madison's family tree intertwined with Olivia's distant relatives. The abandonment wasn't random. Fate had woven their paths long before. This revelation shattered barriers. We're connected, Olivia realized, tears streaming. All this time, Ava was meant to bring us together. The emotional peak left them raw, vulnerabilities exposed, but stronger for it. Forgiveness wasn't just words, it was action. Selflessness in the face of pain. As weeks turned to months, Ava thrived, her laughter filling Olivia's home like music. The surgery's success marked a new beginning. Not just for the child, but for all involved. Olivia, Madison, and Noah formed an unconventional family unit. Visits became routine. Madison teaching Ava to bake cookies, Noah sharing bedtime stories, Olivia orchestrating it all with grace. Old grudges dissolved in the warmth of shared purpose. We were all lost once, Olivia reflected one evening, watching Ava play. But kindness found us. The heartwarming transformation extended beyond their circle. Inspired, Olivia started a support group at the hospital for abandoned children and regretful parents, emphasizing forgiveness as a path to healing. Madison volunteered, her story motivating others in recovery. Noah, humbled, donated to infertility charities honoring Olivia's pain. Ava, growing strong, became a beacon of hope, her locket now a family heirloom, symbolizing unbreakable bonds. One sunny afternoon, in the same park where it all reignited, the group picnicked together. Ava, now 4, toddled over to a crying child nearby, offering her toy with a smile. "Don't be sad," she said innocently. "Kindness makes it better." The adults exchanged knowing glances, tears glistening. In that simple act, they saw the ripple of their journey. How one stormy night's discovery had sparked a chain of selflessness. The story of Ava taught them that humanity shines brightest in darkness. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's the ultimate strength, mending what seems irreparably broken. Kindness never fails. It echoes through lives, turning strangers into saviors, loss into love, and in the end, it's the selfless hearts that truly find their way home.